Hello guys, today is 14th January 2019 and this is Daily Current Affairs brought to you by IndiaUS. And our topics are National Youth Parliament Festival 2019, Invasive and Exotic Species, India-US Relations, Road Kills App and Wildlife Trust of India and WCT, and our usual sessions, Mapped Program as well as PQRS. And our very first topic is the National Youth Parliament Festival 2019. It is a platform for youth across the country and they will share ideas how to make our country better or how to make India better. And this particular platform is organized by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. And this Youth Parliament Festival will be conducted at 3 levels. One is the district, state as well as the national level. Any youth between 18 to 25 can participate in the event. The participants will be first selected at the district level by means of a competition and further into the state level and finally they can reach the national level. And I already told you the youth are between the 18 to 25 age. This age is very crucial because from 18 we get the universal adult suffrage. That means any person can vote if he or she reaches the age of 18 and up to 25. We can vote up to, what is the specialty of 25? After 25, we only could participate in the legislative as well as Lok Sabha elections. So, we have the right to vote, but we don't have the right to participate in the election. So, that age group is selected for the National Youth Parliament Festival 2019. And what are the main objectives of this particular youth festival? It is to develop and enhance the decision-making abilities in the youth. Decision-making abilities in the youth. Also, to develop tolerance among youth. Tolerance is nothing but it is the ability to accept others' views, ability to accept the views of others. So, it is also in order to establish the tolerance in the youth. And we have the energetic youth from 18 to 25 have a lots of ideas and views and they can be used to make policies. Or these ideas can be shared with the policy makers and implementers. So, this youthful age or the ideas of that particular youthful age can make India better when these ideas came into the implementation. So, our topic is about the National Youth Parliament Festival 2019 and it is organized by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. It is conducted in 3 levels, district, state and national level. Any youth between 18 and 25 can participate in the event. Our next news is about the invasive and exotic species. Recently, the Madras High Court constituted an expert committee in order to advise the various ways and means to remove alien species from the Shola forest of the Western Ghats. This is in news because the Madras High Court organized or constituted an expert committee to advise the ways and means to remove alien species from the Shola forest. And now we have to look on to 2 words. One is the invasive alien species as well as second is the exotic species. And the first one, invasive alien species. According to the IUCN, International Union for the Conservation of Nature, invasive alien species are species which establish themselves in an ecosystem and they are a threat to the native species of the ecosystem. So, they are invasive alien species are species which establish themselves in a new ecosystem and they are a threat to the native species of that ecosystem. So, they establish themselves and also they are a threat to the ecosystem. And according to the Convention on Biological Diversity, it is the second largest cause of biodiversity loss in the world. This invasive alien species is the second largest cause of biodiversity loss in the world after habitat destruction. And almost 40% of the extinction or the biodiversity loss in animals constituted due to the particular invasive alien species. Example for an invasive alien species is pine. Pine is an invasive as well as alien species. And our next topic is the exotic species. Exotic species are nothing but they are foreign species. They are established they are introduced into a particular ecosystem out of its natural distribution. But they are harmless. So, when coming to invasive alien species, they are invasive. They make harms to the native species of the ecosystem. but exotic species doesn't make any harm to the native species of the ecosystem, even though they are alien. Exotic species are also alien, but they are harmless to the ecosystem. So, they are mainly introduced for the aesthetic enrichment as well as the commercial purposes. And example for an exotic species is eucalyptus. So, our news is about the verdict of Madras High Court. Madras High Court constituted an expert committee to advise for the removal of alien species from the Shola forest of the Western Ghats. And we studied about the two kinds of species. One is the invasive alien species, and invasive alien species are new to a ecosystem, but they are invasive and they make harm to the native species. Whereas in the case of exotic species, they are new to a particular ecosystem, but they are harmless. They are mainly for the aesthetic purpose as well as the commercial purpose. And our next news is about the India-US Circulations. India and the US government reviewed a progress on the two agreements. One is the ISA as well as BECA. So, India and US government reviewed the progress of the two agreements. One is ISA as well as BECA. And ISA is nothing but Industrial Security Annex. ISA is Industrial Security Annex. The agreement mainly deal with the sharing of classified information from the US government to the private sector entities of India. So, the agreement deals with the sharing of the classified information from the US government to the private sector entities of the country. And it will help to enhance the Indian defense field, or it will helps in enhancing the India's industry's greater role in the defense manufacturing. We have two wings. One is the ISRO and second is DRDO. We know that what is the level of ISRO. Even ISRO is in the top of the world. ISRO is in the top of the world, likewise NASA, and they are helping us to learn the foreign income. So, we have many commercial ventures of ISRO. Andrix Corporation is dealing with the commercial ventures, and they are letting us to give the or take the foreign income. But what is the case of DRDO? Even DRDO is not that much, not that in the level of the ISRO. Almost 10% of the world's defense import comes to India. So, we are one of the world's largest importing country, when the defense manufacturing sector is very poor in India. So, this kind of agreements, I told you about the ISRO. ISRO is in the space research. ISRO is in the top level, whereas in the DRDO, when compared with the ISRO, it is little bit backward. So, in order for the enhancement of the defense manufacturing, we need this kind of internal security annex or these kind of agreements. And the next agreement is the BECA. B is nothing but Basic Exchange Cooperation Agreement for Geospatial Cooperation. Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement for the Geospatial Cooperation, that is BECA. And the agreement is mainly to facilitate the exchange of geospatial information between India and US. The keyword is geospatial information, and it is for the exchange of the geospatial information between India and US for military as well as the civilian purpose. So, we are considering or we are reviewing the progress of the two agreements. One is the ISA as well as BACA. ISA is Industrial Security Annex. It is to pass the classified information related with the defense manufacturing from US to the private companies of India. And the BECA is for the geospatial information in civilian as well as military field from US to India or between both the two countries. And our next news is about the Road Kills app as well as WTI and WCT. Recently, an app called the Road Kills was launched by the Wildlife Conservation Trust as well as Wildlife Trust of India in order to monitor the wildlife death by various accidents. We know that a lot of animals were killed due to the various road and rail accidents. So, in order to report these particular accidents, a new app that is called the Road Kills app launched by the Wildlife Trust of India and Wildlife Conservation Trust. And about the Road Watch or Road Kills app, we know that it is a mobile based application. It is a mobile based application in which the civilians or the citizens can report wildlife deaths. So, in this mobile application, the civilians or the citizens can report wildlife death from the road or railway line. If you see a deer or an elephant is killed due to a road accident, you can take the picture, geo-tag the picture of the particular elephant and you can upload into the app. So that will be reported. So the main purpose is to report the wildlife death, and it can be accessed by the citizens. So it is a mobile based application to report the wildlife death. By uploading a geo-tagged photograph, the wildlife death will be reported into the particular application, and this application is launched by the Wildlife Trust of India as well as the Wildlife Conservation Trust. And about Wildlife Conservation Trust, it is a Bombay or Mumbai based registered public charitable trust. It is a Mumbai based registered public charitable trust, and their main intention is the preservation, protection and conservation of the wildlife of India. So they are mainly intended for the preservation, protection and conservation of the wildlife of India. And Wildlife Conservation Trust is the only NGO in the world that conducts the large scale tiger population estimation programs or tiger surveys. So Wildlife Conservation Trust is the only NGO in the world that conducts the large scale tiger estimation programs, which will help the state as well as central government in the estimation of tigers. So Wildlife Conservation Trust is a trust or charitable trust based on Mumbai. They are mainly intended for the conservation of wildlife. And next is the Wildlife Trust of India. Wildlife Trust of India was formed in the year 1998, and it is formed as a response to the deteriorating condition of the wildlife in India. And Wildlife Trust of India is registered as a charity under the Income Tax Act or IT Act 1961. So news is about the Road Kills app, Wildlife Trust of India, Wildlife Conservation Trust. The Road Kills or Road Watch app is built by these two bodies in order to report the wildlife death. So if you see a death of a wild animal, you can take a geo-tagged photograph and upload into the particular app. Wildlife Conservation Trust is a Mumbai-based public charitable trust. They are mainly intended for the conservation of wildlife, and they are the only NGO in the world that conduct the large scale estimation of the tiger population. And also the Wildlife Trust of India is formed in the year 1998, and it is a registered charity in India as per the Income Tax Act of 1961. And our next session is the MapEdu program, and on MapEdu program we have Hukitola Island. Hukitola Island is located in the Odisha in the Bay of Bengal, and it can be said as the exact location is at the north of the Mahanadi River Delta. North of the Mahanadi River Delta, and the island was mainly formed from the silt deposition. So island is formed of the silt deposition, and there is a building in the island. You can see there is a building in the island. This is a new spot of the Odisha tourism. They are maintaining or rebuilding this particular island for making a new location in the Odisha's tourism destination. And there is a building in the particular island. You can see the building in the island, and that has been or constructed by the Britishers during 1860. During that time, and at that time it was like a rice storehouse, and it is a very large building having almost 7,000 square feet plinth area. The building is relatively large, and a large amount of the rice were stored in the particular building during the time of British. And our next session is the PQRS, that is previous question revision series, on which we have a question from 2015 prelims with reference to the fuel cells in which hydrogen fuel and oxygen are used to generate electricity. Consider the following statements. Option 1, if pure hydrogen is used as fuel, the fuel cell emits heat as well as water as byproducts. 2, the fuel cells can be used to power buildings and not for small devices like laptop and computers. 3, fuel cell produce electricity in the form of alternating currents. And the options are A, 1 only, B, 2 and 3 only, C, 1 and 3 only, And option D 1, 2 and 3 only. Coming to the statements. 1. If pure hydrogen is used as fuel, the fuel cell emits heat as well as water as byproducts. And this is nothing but chemistry. In chemistry, we have learned that if pure hydrogen is used as fuel, the fuel cell gives us the water and heat as the byproducts. This is pure application of chemistry, and they are nothing to do with UPSC or this is about chemistry. And the option 1 is right. And coming to option 2, fuel cells can be used for powering large buildings. The option is wrong. Or the statement is wrong because the fuel cell produces less energy. Fuel cell produces less energy. The ulta is right. That means it can power small devices like laptop computers, but not the large powered buildings. So the power is less, thus they can be used for small devices like the laptop computers and cannot be used for the powering buildings. Thus the statement 2 is also wrong and the ulta is right. And when coming to 3, the fuel cell produce electricity in the form of alternating current. This is also wrong. Fuel cell produces direct current or DC, very small DC. They generate very small direct current and not the alternating current. This DC can be converted into the AC by using inverter. So this can be converted into alternating current by means of an inverter. So thus statement 1 is right. If pure hydrogen is used as fuel, the fuel cell emits heat and water. Yeah, that's right. And fuel cell can be used for powering buildings. That is wrong. They produce less energy, so can be used for small devices like laptops. And the fuel cell produces not alternating current but direct current. So the answer is option A 1 only. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. And for detailed news and explanation, you can refer to the PDF which is available in the description section. Thank you so much. Good night.